Okay, so what happened there was sometimes I've noticed it, and apparently other people who use Streamlabs OBS have also noticed it. Is that the bit rate just drops to zero for some reason, and the stream obviously just because there's no information coming in stops. Um, Annoyingly, Streamlabs says the stream is still going, which is why I have to stream my tablet now next to me so I can check constantly. But that's what happened. I apologize. I will stitch the two recordings together for the YouTube upload. Thank you for welcoming me back. It's something I meant to make the other content creators aware of. I just because Streamlabs updated recently, I assumed that they'd fixed the problem, but I guess they haven't, and I will have to consult the fora, sorry, to figure out a workaround. Because my bitrate's not high. I know my internet can support it. Anyway, back to the show. Building a researcher. My brain had just found me on Eloquent, which Travis, Plastic Age Plays, whichever he prefers, was kind enough to supply. Secondary pool. I want to step away from the academics, from the kind of education for this. But it's very easy to just say, again, like, I know something about this. I guess that would make sense, though. To know a non-field fact. Oh, maybe not, actually. Maybe not, actually. A lot of researchers are also kind of mentors or teaching assistants or lecturers. Yeah, sure, why not? Classroom skills. No, that's too basic. Although it does kind of say everything I want it to say, which is where I'm hitting that stumbling block. Oh, just teaching assistant. There we go. Covers everything you need to know without being as basic as classroom skills. And so that's kind of like leadership ability. A couple of the people skills, maybe. I guess kind of in line with that, a lot of TAs or lecturers are also ideally able to use the tech that they encounter as part of their job. So let's go with technologically savvy. This is not true in the vast majority of cases, of at least in my experience. But there we go. Defense Health Initiative extras. This is where we'll have the. While they aren't a professional, I think I'll give them an enhancement on a roll. I'll break my rule, but I think it's worth it. That's not high spell discipline in any way, shape, or form. Cross discipline knowledge. Plus 1E to recall information outside of their speciality. And that's, yeah, I knew that was wrong. Quick reminder that these are designed as generic background characters that you could slot in anywhere. So it's kind of up to the story guide character what their speciality is. They could be scientists, or in this case, anthropologists, or things like that. But I'm happy to say I did it. I got through all of them. No more introductory scenes for this. Well, maybe to finish off, but that's all the story guide characters. So now, this is heading 2, right? Yeah, this is heading 2. Connecting threads. Just need to check what the other titles I've used are. Yeah, that's fine. Because then I can use heading 1 again for alternate introductory scene for a scene for everyone with everyone together. So, connecting threads. These are 6 events that I'm going to write in chronological order because that seems to make sense to me. That work surprisingly 1 for each scene. If not every character is being used, then it's no big deal because these are 6 events that don't need to necessarily occur in chronological order. In fact, I'm planning that they won't. Well, I'm going to write that they're not supposed to. In fact, I'll do that now. These threads connect the introductory scenes. Ideally, should not be encountered in chronological order. So, yeah, six things that will happen that will bring the characters together as kind of a mass interview by the police is the way I'm kind of planning it. My goal, as I said, I think in episode 2 of this, was to kind of start the hero section of this chronicle, because I'm going to be using these characters, introductory origin, introductory hero, and then when Demigod and God come out, also those. Carry them through, and with the hero one, I will take some time to create a new pantheon to demonstrate how easy it is to create a pantheon in the system. And also to show just kind of general big world building stuff, I guess. Anyway, so my idea was a gang attack. It's very original, I know. I thank you for patting me on the back and awarding me the awards, but you don't need to. A gang attack. And then that leads into a scene with the police, asking questions about, taking witness statements. That's the phrase. So, I think I need to establish what actually happens in the attack. I think I've got the last scene first, and I think the last scene should definitely take place with Michael. The last thread. So 6. Gang is chased into the woods. Into the woods on the outskirts, where they try to hide in the cult of Odin's. I'll put temple just so that we're all on the same page, but that kind of thing. So that's the last one. I know that Liam's is going to take place during the attack because of stuff I want to do there to create a potentially recurring story guide character. I think maybe Ashes is the first. Also, these names are just in alphabetical order, by the way. They're in no particular order. It's just, I like the alphabet. Although, having something happen here where there are no security guards or anything outside the internet cafe, I think works better. So, 1. The gang starts assembling and causing civil unrest in a public place, in brackets, outside I'll just put the internet cafe. Oh, it's outside an internet cafe works. To tie it in outside an internet cafe. Nope. 2. Getting a bit aggressive with my shift key usage. I'm sorry. I also realized that I can pop out my bitrate monitor in Streamlabs, so hopefully keeping an eye on that will also help. I just hope they solve the problem soon. Okay, so we've got Hubei, we've got Michael. I kind of feel like... What if they break into the university that Isabel King's in to steal a drug? The drug will be a plot thread going forwards. Gang breaks into a university to steal a drug. Disrupting the Project Icarus meeting. Nope. Definitely present tense. Spell checker. Definitely present tense. And then they kind of want them to be. Maybe the Redfield Center is near the university. That would make sense. What am I on? 3. So taking the drug, causing a disturbance, path of wanton disruption, leaving. Oh, the library, right. The gang retreats to a rundown that's one word neighborhood to the word's gone again. It's stream nerves. Also constantly panicking about Streamlabs breaking. Gang retreats to a rundown neighborhood to reorganize, I guess. Regroup. That's the one. Oh man, that sleep deprivation is really doing a number on me. To regroup and take the drug. Near a library and take the drug. 4 would then be what? Start path of wanton destruction. The gang begins its drug-fueled destruction is the best way I can think to put it right now. Destruction at a large public event. So then that's Martina. The gang moves into the city and attacks a mental health center. Right, this is the bit where I'm going to have a little coda to the whole sentence. One of the patients is actually a scion and starts moving people away from the windows before they break. Actually, someone with limited prophetic ability. So that there can be a story guide character going through similar things to the player party, to the band at the same time. It's useful to have that mirrored experience in NPCs, especially with an introductory game, so that if you have a player or players who are not as comfortable with role playing, who are worried about doing it wrong, despite all of the reassurances that you can't actually do it wrong, if everyone's having fun, having a mirrored experience from their characters and a character perceived to be run by a more experienced player, I guess, in this case the story guide, helps. It's also a good way for the party to keep track of progress, to have that kind of visual representation of changes within the world. And it also gives them a rival, something to strive for, to push against, to overcome. And then in kind of like Act 3, they're stronger. And now perhaps the rival is the one asking for their help. So this is, again, just more notes. So that's who by. It's Isabel King. Ash, no surname. Martina. There is an E missing there. Oh, I think it's C. AC. Yep. Sarah spelling. And Michael Kettering. And with that, after I think 5 streams, I'm done with my introductory scenes, which feels good. So next stream, I will do an introduction scene for player groups who maybe aren't as comfortable with one scene per a spotlight scene per character. Sorry, and this will be kind of the inciting incident within it as well, although it will probably be this stretch of it. As this gang turns up and starts wrecking house. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. I've got 2 weeks to think of that. Before moving on to 1 or 2 scenes of investigation, which are the freedom to explore scenes, and then an action scene where I'll stat up the gang and get through all of the stuff, which is probably also where I'll factor in the Yeet into Space crossover with Occultist Anonymous. But I think that's that. So, back to kind of end of stream recap and announcements. This stream will make it to YouTube in 2 weeks' time. In a week's time, sorry. A week's exclusivity for subs. So if you like the content, please do consider subbing if you want to catch it a week before anyone else gets it, really. It's really easy to do if you have an Amazon Prime account and you haven't linked your Twitch account to that. That gives you a free sub every month. And loot, I believe Sea of Thieves stuff is coming. I don't know. Anyway, it's really easy to do. And it gives you a free sub, which for the channel counts as just a normal tier 1 sub. So that's cool. You also get access to some sweet emotes. There is currently the Mummy the Curse Kickstarter going on, which Silicon Path has been dropping links for. But I'll read that copy right now. Again, I apologize for my narration voice. I know it's terrible. Imagine being both dead and deathless at the same time. Imagine being cradled in the arms of death for years, sometimes decades on end, but all the while knowing you will eventually not only arise again, but possibly awaken to an unfamiliar world. Now imagine that your purpose, your entire existence, is bound within this cycle, that you are chained to it for eternity. You sleep, you wake, you serve your judge's will in the lands of the living, and you return to the death sleep once more. The ancient culture that empowered you is gone, lost to the sands of time, yet you endure. So that's going on. That's currently probably still about just over 200% funded. Yep, just over 200% funded. 9 days left. Oh, there's a command for it. Sweet. And as ever, if you do want to keep on top of Kickstarters that Onyx Path have going on or project development, the Monday meeting notes are the way to do it. That's just a general overview of this of Onyx Path's plans, really, for the coming week. Well, for Kickstarters, the streaming schedule for the week, blurbs for products and projects, and where projects are in the development timeline. Obviously, Nightbot's been dropping all of the social media stuff, so that's cool. The Discord's a great place to hang out and get to know the other content creators and showrunners. And slightly unrelated to Onyx Path in a way, but if I were to do sort of content like this, so with the design notes and stuff as a Patreon, would anyone be interested in that? Like, the way I envisage that working is design notes for everyone, just to help kind of with the GM tip stuff, and then character sheets, because you can never have too many character sheets as the lowest level, supplementary material like maps and story seeds and fiction stat blocks as a mid-tier, and then actual adventures as the high tier. Primarily, I would probably do Onyx Path games, because that's what I love writing content for. Because there's not enough horror in the world. Imagined horror, there's enough real horror. Just trying to sense out interest in that kind of thing. Obviously, I would be sticking to what I'm allowed to produce without treading on any copyright and stuff and all that boilerplate whatnot. But there we go. That's just a plan I have. So, that's that. If you have any questions, I will be heading over to my own Twitch channel in about 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's Comrade Bubbles, where I'm always happy to talk about role-playing stuff, because, as I say, I'm only here every 2 weeks. I'm also on Twitter at Comrade Bubbles if you ever have questions, and I also share links there for my... I try to do weekly updates for my tabletop-focused website /blog/personal soapbox. But that's it for me for today. Feels good to finally finish these introductory scenes, I'll be honest. And again, two things. One, I'm not an official representative of Onyx Path. This is an unofficial thing. They're just kind enough to lend me the platform. And I forgot the second thing. Oh yes, this isn't a typical way of approaching content creation. I am kind of breaking it down a lot more and putting not more effort into it, but taking it more granularly than I otherwise would. So that's something to bear in mind if you watch any more of this content. But from me, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I need to go back to this window. And there are plenty of other shows on the channel that are worth checking out. Check out the pre-roll, I guess post-roll for those. I'll be hanging around in chat for a few minutes while I sort out other stuff anyway, the post-roll rolls. But for now, that is me. So thank you.